did put up 89 points in their win against Drake, second most ever for the Aggies in an NCAA tournament game. Kyla Hillsman wins the tip, and it's into the hands of Jasmine Lumpkin. The Aggies coming out wearing the maroon and white, Depaul and the blue and black. Williams knocking down the mid-range jump shot, and the Aggies out to the early 2-0 lead. The Depaul starting five, only team in America with all five starters connecting on at least 35 three-pointers. They're brought to you by Capital One. And the starting five for Texas A&M, also brought to you by Capital One. Kennedy Carter, number 3. She is the one to watch as Williams airballs the three-point attempt. Depaul coming off a 90-79 win against Oklahoma. They had an electric start, could not miss in the early goings. As here, Amara Coleman struggles to find her spot. Coleman fouled out in 26 minutes against OU. Depaul has to stay out of foul trouble against A&M.
And that is a huge point of emphasis when we talk to Doug Bruno. Staying out of foul trouble, you can't send Texas A&M to the line. Texas A&M is known for making more free throws than their opponents take. And
there's the glue, Kelly Campbell coming up with a steal. Depaul wants to run. They want to make this a track meet. Ashton Millender kicking it back out. Good ball movement. Marte Grays, pure from outside. And the first three ball. There will be plenty more this afternoon here in College Station.
And Texas A&M is in that matchup 2-3 zone. They have to get the bumps and the rotations. You can't leave Marte Grays open from the three.
Doug Bruno expected A&M to mix up their defenses. He was concerned how quickly his team could identify and adjust to those different looks. Lumpkin leaves it short. Grays battling for the rebound. It's an undersized Depaul team, but they actually have turned into a pretty solid rebounding squad. Grays into the trees and gets it to go, working on Kyla Hillsman.
And that's the difference between the Drake team that Texas A&M faced on Friday and this Depaul team. Drake shot the three well, but what Depaul has is the ability to put the ball on the floor and slash to the rim when you close out long.
Hillsman inside, as expected, a quick double team, finds Lumpkin. Second shot draws the whistle, and she will go to the line. I love the way Gary Blair set this one up. He said it is the Godfather, Doug Bruno, the guy from Chicago, has that Marlon Brando hoarse voice against the long, tall Texan, Gary Blair, who's got that Texan drawl about him.
And the thing about these two coaches, they have very opposite coaching styles. Doug Bruno likes his team to play fast. He doesn't want to call out that many plays. He plays off of concepts. While Gary Blair, if he could drop a play every single possession, that's what he wants to do for his Aggies.
And we'll see him more and more involved as it's a lane violation on Andrea Howard when A&M is playing offense on the side of the A&M bench. Blair will be very involved in calling out all the details of what they run. So Kelly Campbell picked up foul number 1. Here's Lumpkin, the top defender on this Aggies team. To Williams, transition, and another whistle. So back-to-back possessions for the Aggies, leading to trips to the free throw line. This was Gary Blair before the start of this game.
You've earned the right to host. Reward your fans and reward yourself for the body of work that you have done. Let's just get to the Sweet 16 and keep chipping away and chipping away and chipping away. Be the team that nobody respects right now. Because remember, the SEC folks picked us to lose. It's time to prove people wrong again.
So Danny Williams goes to the line and hits 2. And you see Coach Blair there kind of presenting the Aggies as an underdog, as Millender knocks home the 3. This is a really good A&M squad, though.
And the thing about Texas A&M, everyone talks about Kennedy Carter, but what we saw on Friday and what they hope to have today is a complete performance. Everyone playing their roles. Andriel Howard getting rebounds. Carter getting her teammates involved as well.
Carter misses her first shot attempt. Yeah, it's a different A&M team when they have 4 players scoring in double digits like they did in the first game. Coleman off the mark. Rebound. Lumpkin, and the Aggies pushing the tempo. Williams transition pull up. Rolling out, and Millender with the rebound. What do you think of the early pace?
I think this pace favors Depaul. That shot by Danny Williams. Gary Blair doesn't want his team to settle. If they don't have something early, he wants them to execute.
Gorgeous feed from Grays inside. And Depaul now doubling up. Texas A&M. Coleman on the finish. Coleman playing some of her best basketball in March. And a travel call on Kennedy Carter. So watch this play here. The ball, the pass is tipped out of the hands of Grizz. Can you give the assist to Danny Williams?
I don't think you can give it to her, but that is what Depaul wants to do. Just cut to the basket, and Amara Coleman happened to be in the right place at the right time.
Quick trigger from Millender. Shantae Stonewall with the rebound. Back out to Grizz. And it rolls out. Lumpkin has been very active in the early going, and she comes up with another rebound. A&M off to a 1-for-6 start for the field. The inside feed, that's where they had the advantage. Hillsman loses the handle. Coleman comes up with it. Stonewall on the drive, cannot get it to drop. Lumpkin is called for the foul, so 2 free throws coming up for the Blue Demons.
Depaul does such a great job at getting the ball from one end to the other. As soon as they get the rebound, as soon as they get a steal, they're sprinting down the floor.
Especially when Hillsman is close to the bucket like she just was. They want to wear her down. If you go back to the performance against Oklahoma, Viennese Pierre-Louis, in the words of Gary Blair, they didn't stop her. They couldn't stop her. But what did they do? They wore her down. Concerned about that happening with Hillsman.
And that's exactly right. We talked to Doug Bruno about Viennese Pierre-Louis. She had 21 points, but she also gave up 21 points on the defensive end because of fatigue.
7-0 run. Williams cannot get that up-tempo rebound. Aggies getting a little bit out of their tempo and pace. Trying to keep up with Depaul. Millender on Hillsman. Good look. And a whistle as Jasmine Lumpkin goes down. But Depaul out of the gates, running hard and letting them fly. Blue Demons up on the Aggies 12-5.
Translated to the way that they've played, the tempo has favored Depaul. And when they've got it in the half court, they've gotten some ball movement and been able to knock down threes.
Good start here for the Blue Demons. 12-5 lead as Texas A&M has missed 6 shots in a row. The only make from the field from Danny Williams, who's 1 for 4. Can Carter start to set up her teammates? Lumpkin, Hillsman got that inside feed. But you see, as soon as that ball went into Hillsman, I mean, that entry pass was made with 2 DePaul defenders on her.
And Texas A&M has to be selective in when and where they get Kyla Hillsman the ball. She's not the best at making plays out of double and triple teams. Her teammates need to set her up to be effective.
Gray gets into some trouble. 10 on the clock. Not sure DePaul notices. Shot clock winding down, and that is a shot clock violation. Let's get into the keys for this matchup, Dre.
Well, starting with DePaul, I think there are 2 main things they have to do, and it's control Carter. You can't stop Kennedy Carter, but you can control her and you can contain her. And the Blue Demons also have to box out, especially Andriel Howard. For Texas A&M, like I said earlier, they have to establish Kyla Hillsman, but be selective, and then they have to sprint back in transition defense.
How would you say DePaul's doing right now with Kennedy Carter?
I think they're doing a great job. They're guarding her. They've been in a man-to-man defense, but they use their help very well.
One assist for Kennedy Carter. She had 11, second most in A&M tournament history. in the opener. Lumpkin no good, but it will be back with Texas A&M. And a new 30 seconds on the shot clock. Aggies just 1 of 8 from the field. Carter is 0 for 1. Lumpkin 0 for 3. Williams 1 for 4. Lumpkin going to the bench. Kayla Wells, the freshman, comes in, and right off the inbound, showing the ups, is Anriel Howard. Howard coming off yet another double-double performance in that opening win against Drake. Back-to-back seasons, she is averaging a double-double. Quick into the hands of Carter. Slicing through the Depaul defense, and it's going to earn a trip to the line.
And this is what we talk about when we talk about Kennedy Carter. The Allen Iverson crossover, taking a step to the right and swinging it back to the left. That is tough to guard.
You went AI. Practice? Carter can't hit that first free throw. Coleman checks out. Lauren Prochaska checking in for DePaul. And for the second straight game, Coleman in early foul trouble. She goes to the bench with 2. Fouled out in 26 minutes against OU. The beauty and the design of this DePaul team, though, is it isn't just one star. Coleman goes out. There's still 4 or 5 other DePaul players that can hit the big shots.
But I think losing Amara Coleman early is going to be big. She's one of their more athletic players.
And finally, the travel call comes of Prochaska. I think the A&M fans wanted it about 3 seconds earlier, but they get it. I think credit Gary Blair with the assist there. Carter, long pull-up. Hillsman, offensive rebound, and in.
And that is a matchup nightmare for DePaul on the boards.
The defense from Wells. Howard pulling down the board. DePaul simply does not have the size to match up with Kyla Hillsman, a Chicago product herself. Williams for 3. Rattles out. Howard fighting to keep that one alive. Knowing they're too strong, but the hustle from Campbell to keep this one alive. Bounce pass. Trying to figure out exactly which way this will go. Until then, here's Hillman on the offensive glass.
And if there's one way Kyla Hillsman can impact this game, it's on the boards. DePaul has not had an answer for her. She needs to crash the glass hard.
Tanita Allen, no. She has really struggled. 4 for 19 from three-point range over the past 4 games. And this is her first attempt. Beautiful move, just could not finish. And it looks like Carter's getting a little gassed herself.
And that's something that we've seen all season. Kennedy Carter and her fatigue settling in, but Gary Blair has to keep her on the floor.
Outside not working, so Allen coming back inside to extend the lead for the Blue Demons. Last year's Big East 6th Player of the Year, Tanita Allen. Hillsman double team, sees Wells. And Wells had Williams wide open on the wing. But no surprise, it's Howard coming up with a rebound, the most prolific rebounder in A&M history. Wells gets her own miss and the putback. Kayla Wells has been sneaky good in this NCAA first and second round action. Prochaska full speed ahead, does not get the roll, but will go to the line. Catch a second round NIT triple header tomorrow at 7 on ESPNU and the ESPN app. You got Stanford at Oklahoma State, LSU at Utah, and Washington at St. Mary's. You can also visit NCAA.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. Kayla Wells picking up the foul. That sends Prochaska to the line. 77% free throw shooter makes the first. It's been a good first quarter, though. If you're A&M, you got to feel pretty good that it's only a three-point game. And you really haven't played all that well. Your stars aren't quite clicking.
And A&M has started to come back and put points on the board when they slowed down the tempo and executed in the half court. They don't need to run with Depaul. That's not their game.
Also getting an edge on the offensive glass. Lulu McKinney now in. As Kennedy Carter will sit out the final moments of the first quarter. McKinney trying to break everybody down off the dribble. Lumpkin, no. Rebound. Howard and one. What did her mom tell her? Go get the basketball. That was her first coaching point from her mom, and Howard has listened.
And this is Anrielle Howard at her best. I have been on the other side of Anrielle Howard crashing the glass. She goes hard. She jumps high. She's hard to stop.
How'd those matchups go with Howard, by the way?
Oh, they were not good. They did not go well. I can remember multiple times Holly Warlick looking at me like I had two heads because I could not box out Anrielle Howard.
And you say no one else can. And her coach says it's impossible. Can I get the three-point play? 10 seconds on the clock. Campbell, pull it up. No good. And Depaul will
have that goal in mind, and you don't believe your team can do it, then why are you playing?
Yeah.
So we thought it, but I think once we beat Baylor, that was our game we needed to win, then we really were confident.
And Sydney, Gary Blair talks so much about his point guards and the relationship that he has with them. What was your relationship like with him when you were a player?
It was great, but it had to get to that point. People look at our run and think like everything was great and we played great and we just went and made history. But that Stanford game before the Notre Dame game, memorable moment for me was, Coach, I made a left hand behind the back pass.
Oh, yeah.
That was unsuccessful and went the other way, and Nneka Ogwumike scored 2 points off of it. He took me out and, said, what the H are you doing? You never even practiced that. And from that moment on, I was a little more reserved, but he was always hard on me, but whenever I did well, he always praised me.
So now the message from Blair to Kennedy Carter now makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Wanting her to make the simple passes.
Absolutely.
Not the eye-catching passes.
She's way more flashy than I was, though.
Let's go back to that window against Baylor, because that was also instrumental in getting Carter here to College Station. She was a huge Baylor fan at the time, and that turned her around.
Right.
Did you realize that?
I didn't know that at that point. I knew that she, had some interest in A&M. She'd been to some camps. I didn't know that she was so pro-Baylor, but I'm glad we changed her mind.
There's Lauren Prochaska for three. Depaul now up 21-14.
Yeah, Sydney, you might have the best assist in Texas A&M history in getting Kennedy Carter to the team. She says she looks up to you. What has your relationship been like with her this season?
I haven't talked to Kennedy a ton since I've been overseas playing. I reached out to her recently, though. And was just telling her I was so proud of what she'd done, and it's super impressive. She's obviously a tremendous talent, a talent that comes through here kind of like Danielle Adams, and I think she's going to do some special things. So I was just encouraging her, motivating her.
What is that relationship like, the point guard and the head coach? Because I've heard that Coach Blair has got a picture of you in his office. He's got a picture of all his point guards.
He does, and I mean, it's great. He wants the most out of you. You're going to see he's going to talk to his point guard more than anybody else on the court, more than the highest scorer, more than the leading rebounder, more than the senior. It's always going to be the point guard because you're the head of this ship. You're the extension of him on the court. He wants you to understand what he wants.
What do you think makes Kennedy Carter special?
I think her court vision makes her special. I think her ability to score, her ability to finish. A lot of offensive things make her very special. And I think anybody that watches A&M realizes that.
And there is Kelly Campbell. We'll stretch out the lead to 10 points, but overall, we know this is an Aggies team that can come back. They can make a run in this tournament. What do you like about this group?
I like that they have veteran leadership and they have young kids who can step in and make some things happen. I think that's what you always need in a team that is looking to make a deep run. You need some senior, junior leaders, and you need other kids who step in and do their job and play their role.
And Sydney, looking forward after college basketball is over, WNBA season begins. You've been picked back up by the Las Vegas Aces. What are your thoughts on the potential #1 pick, Asia Wilson from South Carolina?
Man, I've watched her play for several years at South Carolina. She's a lefty, which I love. That always makes people harder to guard, I think, especially in the post. But she can do so many things. I mean, she can take it off the bounce, you know, like a three player. She is a great rebounder. She finishes well. I like her energy. Like, I love playing with people who are they got a passion for the game. They're going to play hard all the time. She's one of those people.
Sydney, we really appreciate your time. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And meanwhile, it was an 8-zip run for Depaul here in the second quarter. Andrea Howard finally connects on the first field goal make for the Aggies to snap that run. Wide open look to the bucket, and it's Marte Graves.
And that's what we talked about early in the first quarter, those defensive rotations because of Depaul's ability to get to the basket.
Does it look at this moment in time like Carter is trying to do too much as Howard gets back-to-back buckets to drop?
I think so. I think Kennedy Carter has sometimes potential to push the pace a little too much and force something, but it's because of her competitive nature. It's not because of anything else. She wants to win. She wants to put points on the board, but she needs to let it happen naturally within their offense.
Off the fingertips of Campbell, right back to Texas A&M. So the Aggies coming back with a mini run of their own. Aggies slowing it down. They do not want to have to keep up with Depaul for 4 quarters. Williams spin move off the hands of Lumpkin. Carter gets it back. Baseline, 100 miles per hour, and in the Kennedy Carter. That was impressive. Stonewall with the response. Kennedy for 3. Misses everything. Millinder with the board. Look how quickly Depaul gets down. Campbell heaves it. Got it. So a 10-point lead got whirled away. But just like that, Depaul comes back and it's now 11.
And there have been some defensive breakdowns for Texas A&M. When Kelly Campbell, even when she's 4 or 5 feet behind the three-point line, you have to shade towards her because she can knock that down on the ball reversal.
Going to Hillsman inside, but as soon as the ball touches her hands, Kelly Campbell is there. It's going to stay with A&M, though. Here's that defensive breakdown.
Well, Texas A&M has to be in the right position. You see they get confused on the switch on the backside, and Marte Graves has a wide open lane to the basket. And Kennedy Carter, though, she's competing, getting the steal, taking it all the way to the bucket. She wants to win this game. She has to keep pushing.
First field goal make of the afternoon for Kennedy Carter, just 1 of 7 with 3 points. That layup and a free throw, add another to make it 2 of 8 from the field for Carter. Uber competitive. Good feed inside, and Depaul has made their last 4 shots. Tanita Allen, she's done good cutting to the basket. Both her shots inside the paint. Howard wants to drive. The kick to Williams. Rims out. Millinder wants to run. Campbell transition 3, no. And Williams will now slow it down.
Nice decision by Danny Williams, showing her experience. She's a junior. She knows what Gary Blair wants in times like this.
Is it hard not to get caught up in the pace, though?
Absolutely. When we talked to Gary Blair, he said, I bet my players are going to want to run. You get caught up in the emotion DePaul scores and you want to go score immediately, but that's not the game plan for Texas A&M.
Coleman, she's got 2 fouls. And draws a whistle. And she was bumped to the ground. Kayla Wells picks up foul number 2. And a well-balanced scoring output for DePaul. Told you off the top, only team in America with all 5 starters connecting on at least 35 three-pointers this year. Rose, Lumpkin almost comes up with a steal. But Coleman taking advantage of it, stretching the lead to 13.
And that's the thing about defending DePaul. You cannot stand, you can't get out of position. They go for a steal on that play, and it gives Amara Coleman a lane to the bucket.
Inside feed to Hillsman. Gray's got a piece of it. And Howard gets the roll. Howard, leading scorer for Texas A&M at 10 points. Has Millender, nothing but net from three-point range. I'm not sure that's a good thing with Howard, though, being the leading scorer at this point for the Aggies.
Well, that is just telling you that Texas A&M is not doing what they want to do on offense. Andriel Howard, don't get me wrong, when she's scoring, that should be a bonus for Texas A&M.
And one, Andriel Howard single-handedly is keeping the Aggies at least in the conversation as Millender picks up her first foul.
And this is what Andriel Howard brings to Texas A&M. So much length and athleticism, and then the strength to finish through contact.
7 rebounds for Howard, 3 of them offensive. And she leads all scorers with 12 points. Make it 13.
And like I said earlier, Andriel Howard scoring, that's great for Texas A&M. That is a bonus, but she needs her teammates to put some points on the board with her.
2 for Hillsman, 5 for Carter. A&M fans wanting to travel, don't get the call. Prochaska. Well, that was something. So back to A&M. First round against Drake in the first half, 19 points, 6 of 11 field goals. Today only 5, 2 for 9. Coach Blair said that Drake was a good warm-up for DePaul. They do a lot of the same things, but DePaul, a next-level type of team, Big East champs. And turnover from Hillsman. That is the speed that Blair told us about. And the difference between DePaul and Drake, DePaul can get there on the double team so much faster than a team like Drake.
Well, DePaul overall has done such a nice job on the defensive end. They've closed the gaps. Kennedy Carter has gotten a couple drives to the basket, but DePaul's done a nice job at using their help side, doubling down on Hillsman, recovering out, and making Kennedy Carter take tough contested shots.
A lot of one-on-one basketball right now for the Aggies. That does not work for Williams. The ball was not sticking in that first round win against Drake, and it is finding the cylinder from all spots on the court for the Blue Demons. Tanika Allen working it inside, now outside. And DePaul already with 7 three-point makes. Their program record is 19, and they've hit that twice this season. Final minute of the first half. More one-on-one basketball. Carter somehow slips it to Hillsman. Can't get the bucket, but will go to the line. Coming up on the Northwestern Mutual halftime report. Get you up to speed with Tennessee and Oregon State, Maryland and North Carolina State. Maria Taylor in studio with the highlights in the conversation. Too strong off the free throw from Hillsman. Coming off a 22-point performance against Drake. She was 10 of 14 from the field. Hit 2 free throw attempts. Splits at the line. And Hillsman heads to the bench. Campbell, 2-point shot, good. Not the shots that Bruno loves, the long twos. But when someone like Campbell, he trusts it.
And Texas A&M got mixed up on 2 screens. An off-the-ball screen, they didn't switch, and then the on-ball screen, they weren't able to switch, gives a wide-open jump shot.
3-second differential. Carter, the kick. Lumpkin tried to go glass. There's time for a final heave for Depaul. Graves throws it up. Does not go. But the first half. Back in this game, will that work?
Well, I think A&M, if they can execute on the defensive end and get stops, they can come down and execute on offense and put points on the board. If they're getting into a running game, DePaul's just going to keep scoring.
They had a huge edge in the second quarter, outscoring the Aggies 27 to 14 after it was a tight first quarter. Stonewall getting past Howard, and the Blue Demons with the first bucket of the second half. Caltech Stonewall, 6 points, 5 rebounds. They don't have that one star, but so many that can beat you between Coleman, Graves, Millender, Campbell, Stonewall, and then Allen off the bench. Danny Williams rattles out the big 3 for the Aggies. Hillsman, Carter, and Williams now 4 of 20 from the field. That's got to change for Texas A&M to get back in this.
And the big thing about that is when Danny Williams and Kennedy Carter aren't hitting from the outside, that's when opponents are able to close down on Hillsman.
Good defense from Hillsman. And it goes off of Danny Williams, so it will be DePaul basketball. Well, they looked really good a day ago, but you go back and point out 11 assists from Kennedy Carter, second most in tournament history for A&M.
And Kennedy Carter and Kyla Hillsman have definitely struggled. DePaul has just done a great job. They're closing the gaps. They're doubling down on Hillsman.
And that's how you get back into this. You want to play DePaul ball? Carter can hang. How long can they go with this lineup with Hillsman in the game?
Well, one thing that I think they can do is bring Kayla Wells back in. She's been playing well. Texas A&M can go to that small ball lineup. You lose the height and the strength on the inside, but you have a team that's quicker and can keep up with DePaul.
Oh, there's the quickness. Beautiful feed to Graves. And Graves, the first Blue Demon in double digits with 11. They've been so active offensively.
And that's where if Texas A&M goes to that small ball lineup, you can switch a lot more screens and you're not putting Kyla Hillsman in the screen.
Nice feed inside the hack. But Hillsman will have to go to the line to earn these 2 points. Set up by Lumpkin. Hillsman hits the first. The Division I Men's Basketball Championship second round continues today on CBS, TBS, TNT, and True TV. For matchups and game times, go to ncaa.com. It was tough. Watching the Volunteers go down to Loyola.
No, I don't quite want to talk about that game. That was heartbreaking. Did you see Candace Parker's reaction? That was all of us.
Like she was heartbroken. It was tough for her to gather herself and go on air after that game. Gray's picking up the foul. There is Doug Bruno. Pretty much a DePaul lifer from Chicago, played for Ray Meyer, led his team in assists. After his playing career, he has been all DePaul women's basketball. Carter driving, and 2-3. Blue jerseys, does not work out. Grays. DePaul basketball.
And then going back and talking about Doug Bruno, he's been all DePaul women's basketball, but he has affected the game at so many different levels on the USA basketball staff. Just the things he does for the game of basketball is outstanding. He is a legend.
He loves the way this DePaul team plays. They get after it offensively. They make you play their game. Stonewall inside. Rebound by Howard. Single-handedly in the first half, Andrielle Howard was the factor keeping A&M even close. 13 points, 9 rebounds. Big reason why they had a 12-zip edge in second half, second chance points.
And Andrielle Howard absolutely put the team on her back, doing what she does best. She wants to win. She's a competitor. She needs everyone else to step up and get going with her.
Carter on cue. Her first three-ball make. Really nice look on the drive from DePaul. They just can't connect. You can tell that spark is back with Kennedy Carter.
And if you're DePaul, you have to be careful with a player like Kennedy Carter. When she gets going, sometimes all it takes is one bucket and a fire starts to explode within Kennedy Carter. She gets the crowd involved. That's the type of player that she is.
Now quickly things can change. Stonewall going to the bench with 3 fouls. Carter is at the line. And figuratively saying, get on the shoulders. Let's go. All 8 points by the Aggies this quarter from Carter. And now Gary Blair taking charge of his offense as the Aggies running their offense in front of the A&M bench. How did she thread the needle there? Howard, offensive board, and the putback. Has belonged to Kennedy Carter. 8 points, 8 of the 12 for the Aggies. Allen, cold-blooded.
And that reminds me of what we saw in the Oklahoma game. Every time Oklahoma started to make a push, DePaul comes up with a score.
Howard goes up and over, but we got a whistle on DePaul. It was a 17-point DePaul lead, now down to 10. 4:50 left here in the third. They'll wrap up Rockets, Timberwolves, plus Tom Rinaldi and Andy North preview Tigers' road to the Masters and which Cinderella has the best shot of moving to the Elite Eight. Sports Center at night tonight after the women's tournament. Live on ESPN and the ESPN app. 3-point attempt, no good. DePaul scrambling for the loose ball, and they've got it. Allen showing some restraint down the court. Now with the drive. Howard with the block. Kayla Wells wants it. She's got it. She goes down hard. A foul on Kelly Campbell.
And we've talked about Anriel Howard all day long, getting it done on the offensive glass. But look at this defensive play. She's so athletic. She's got long arms. Goes up against Amara Coleman, who's also athletic, and gets the block.
Howard, no stranger to tournament experience, making her 6th NCAA start for the Aggies. Wells to the line, hits her first.
And head coach Gary Blair has so much faith in Anriel Howard when it comes to offensive rebounds. He doesn't even put Kyla Hillsman underneath the bucket when they're shooting a free throw. He lets Kyla Hillsman get to half court, lets her rest, and trusts Anriel down low.
Knowing the personnel, Gary Blair, one of the best. Howard hits both of them. And also the notion of Kennedy Carter wanting her to set up teammates. We've seen here in this third quarter A&M back in the game because Carter setting up herself, just trying to take over. Allen leaning into it. Williams and Howard collide, but it's Howard with the rebound. Williams, Hillsman, both still have not got it going. It's been Carter and Howard so far. So in the mid-range, too strong, and Howard strapping for the rebound. She's going to be whistled for the foul. Part of the reason why A&M has found themselves back in this game is Depaul, 1 of 7 on three-point attempts in this third quarter. They keep letting them fly, just not finding the mark. Inside the Graves. Wells and Campbell jump ball. And it's Aggies basketball.
And that last defensive possession by Texas A&M, they were scrambling, cutting with Depaul's cutters, showing full effort on defense that Gary Blair said he wanted to see.
So not just shots not falling for Depaul, A&M becoming a factor defensively.
And Depaul is continuing to give full court pressure. It's not to get a steal, it's just to wear down Texas A&M's guards as the game goes on.
Williams going baseline, tough angle. She draws the foul on Ashton Millender. Men's ice hockey is approaching the Frozen Four in St. Paul. Regional semifinals beginning Friday at 3 Eastern on ESPN2 and the ESPN app. And visit NCAA.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. Second round action here from Reed Arena in College Station, home of the Texas A&M Aggies. Sweet 16 is on the line, and it's a 6-point game. Kochowska, no. Put back from Allen, yes. Allen has been fantastic. She leads Depaul with 12 points. How long can they hold off the Aggies? They buy time with every miss. This one from Carter. Transition three, Millender, too much. But Carter steps out of bounds, chasing down a rebound, which would have been A&M basketball.
She just steps out of bounds. And this is a freshman thing. This is something she can learn as time goes on. She's trying to get the basketball so she can race down the court.
A little bit caught up in the moment.
She can let it go out of bounds and then set up her offense and let Texas A&M execute.
Shante Stonewall back in the game. There's life On the defensive side for A&M. Oh, no! Coleman does it and draws the foul.
And Amara Coleman, she has such a high release that allows her to shoot over defenders and shoot contested jump shots. She brings it almost over her head and has a leaner with her shots. She can get it over defenders.
Can't convert the three-point play. But another shot for Depaul on the lane violation. Coleman lit up Marquette in the Big East Championship game with a career-high 27 points. Dropped 17 against Oklahoma, despite only playing in 26 minutes of action. Off the knee of Carter. She recovers. Howard going back to that mid-range and missing everything. Lumpkin keeps it alive. Carter for three. Yes!
And credit has to go for Jasmine Lumpkin.
Responses all afternoon here in College Station.
And this is where we talk about Texas A&M potentially going to their small ball lineup. Kyla Hillsman has a hard time getting out to the three-point line on Tanita Allen.
Allen was only 4 of 19 from three over the previous 4 games. She's come to life with a 3 for 5 mark. Coleman nearly gets that rattled home.
And this is when we talk about Jasmine Lumpkin and what she brings to the team. These 3 points belong to Jasmine Lumpkin. She hustles, saves the basketball, gets it out to Kennedy Carter for 3.
Lumpkin, top defensive player on this Aggies team, in the words of her head coach, Gary Blair. She's ended up with one of the under-radar performances in this game, much in the same way that Kayla Wells flew under the radar with a very good performance for the Aggies against Drake.
And we can't forget Jasmine Lumpkin, she's a senior. This is potentially her last, this is, whether they win or they lose, this is her last game on this floor. She's playing like it.
Another senior, Kyla Hillsman, goes to the bench. Lumpkin hits both. Nice feed and move from Millender. Carter breaking down to the Depaul defense and dropping it. That's their game. Coach Blair sometimes scoffs at the notion of the three-point shot with this group. Says they are good off the bounce as any team in America. Four-second difference. Allen for three. And another one from Tanita Allen, former high school teammate of A&M's Kyla Hillsman at Whitney Young in Chicago. Carter, long two, contact with Allen. Wells with the follow. A little spark for the Aggies as we head.
These seniors, these are the final minutes that 2 of these seniors could be playing today.
But for Texas A&M, the fate of those seniors could be on the shoulders of their freshman star. One of the best players in America in Kennedy Carter came to life with 13 points in the third quarter. Here's the senior. Coleman cannot get the roll. How does A&M make up this 10-point deficit here in the fourth?
Well, I think the one thing that they have to do is get stops on the defensive end. If they allow Depaul to keep putting points on the board, they're going to get tighter on offense. They're going to feel more pressure. It starts with stops.
Does either team look tight to you right now?
No, neither team looks tight in my opinion. I think Kennedy Carter is pressing just a little bit. She needs to let things open up for her to score.
Yeah, tried to force that in there to Lumpkin. That did not work. And it's a turnover to Depaul basketball. Not sure what that look was. There's nothing there. Coleman missed her first, got her second. Staring down the finality of her career. She wants a trip to the Sweet 16 before it's done. And a huge discrepancy, 11 made threes for DePaul, 2 for Texas A&M. Williams trying to go one-on-one with Allen, nearly lost it. Wells, too strong. Howard saves it to Carter. Williams getting into trouble right into the hands of Tanita Allen. She's been everywhere for DePaul. Millender. Rebound, Stonewall. And gets it to go. So we talked about the seniors. Amara Coleman has been fantastic today.
And Amara Coleman, she's been hot since the Big East Championship game. Such a nice release on her shot. She can shoot over the defense. She doesn't want to go home today.
Wants to go home and pack for more basketball in the Sweet 16 in Spokane. Stonewall just picked up foul number 4 off the heave. Carter, pure.
When you talk about confidence, for a player to get the basketball and that pass, pull up at the 3 when you could really go to the basket, that is a confident player that we're watching.
Just trying to will the Aggies to a win. Hillsman out on the perimeter with Allen. Nice cut inside the Grays. Carter fouled her. It's going to be 2 free throws.
And when you talk about Kennedy Carter and what she brings to this team, I mean, confidence oozes out of her. She sweats confidence. She plays with confidence. That is a big-time shot.
What do they call her?
Swaggy Aggie.
Swaggy Aggie. It's got to be one of the better nicknames I've heard in a long, long time. Runaway National Freshman of the Year.
And DePaul has DePaul ball on their shirts. That's LaChina Robinson. We might see Swaggy Aggie from Carol Ross on some T-shirts.
Get him printed. 13-point lead for the Blue Demons. How much is left in the tank for Carter? Plenty. Unlimited range.
Ask and you shall receive. Roll.
Millender can't get the response. Hillsman with the tough rebound. The Aggies are picking up the pace. Carter the lead in. And will go to the line for 2. And here is that gorgeous 3-ball from Kennedy Carter.
We can't talk enough about what Kennedy Carter is going to bring to the game of basketball in the future. You talk about an exciting player to watch, and she has so much room to grow.
Yeah. Doug Bruno saying that at this point in time reminds him of a more athletic Kelsey Plum, who, oh, by the way, is the all-time leading scorer in D1 history.
And no other player has ever scored, get this, no other player has ever scored 3,000 points and had 600 assists. Kennedy Carter is on track to beat both of those numbers.
Leaves that free throw short, but of course it's Howard coming up with the glass. The Swaggy Aggie with the last 7 points for A&M. Feed inside the Hillsman, good touch. And it's Howard with the save. Back to Carter. Howard with the save again. She is unreal with her effort.
You can't say enough. There are not enough words to describe Anriel Howard on the offensive glass.
Hillsman hacked. She'll go to the line. dominant is where you start with Howard.
And the thing is, with Anriel Howard, she is a running rebounder. She crashes from beyond the three-point arc. She gets back into play, gets the ball back again. She is like a basketball magnet.
Gary Blair has coached two of the all-time great rebounders, one in A&M history, in Anriel Howard, and for 3 years in PE class in high school, Coach Dennis Rodman. And Howard has that nonstop motor, like watching someone of the likes of Dennis Rodman. 8-point game here in College Station. Howard got a piece of it. Stonewall keeps it alive. Howard again to Carter. To Wells. Bucket, A&M. Depaul. They are the 9 seed. Winner of that faces the winner of this game between the Blue Demons and Texas A&M. Six minutes left. Shot clock winding down. Depaul already with one shot clock violation. Stonewall, glassing good. Stonewall got a piece, but it's all for it will be Texas A&M basketball.
And we talked about Kelly Campbell being rock solid for Depaul. She's only a sophomore, penetrates as the shot clock is winding down and finds her teammate for the bucket.
All starts with her. However, she's in foul trouble. She has 4, Stonewall with 4, Coleman with 3. Speaking of 3, Calder's got another one. Oh, the crossover. Good defense from Allen and Coleman. Numbers advantage, and Depaul takes advantage of it with Carter slow to get down.
When we talk about where Kennedy Carter has room to grow, she stayed down on the other end for a long time. Depaul comes down, it's 4 on 5, and they get an easy bucket.
That has taken a little bit of the life out of Reed Arena as Coleman pokes it away. Well, you know, one more bucket from the Aggies will make this place manic again.
And we talked to Doug Bruno about who his best defender is, and he said potentially Amara Coleman. She's quick, she's athletic, showed us that on that play.
Allen was in there as well. She's had a brilliant game with 18 points, and she was the player barking at her teammates yesterday when she thought the focus wasn't quite there. Shot clock winding down. Howard beats the buzzer and one.
Anriel Howard, she's so athletic, so bouncy, and my favorite part, all of the emotion. She has done so much for Texas A&M in this game.
Howard up to 17 points. She averages 11 points per game. Look at that line, 17 and 17 for Anriel Howard. He averages 15 rebounds per game and has a tournament record with 26 boards against Missouri in 2016. 4-point ball game. Chaska, no. Scramble for the loose ball. Gray is down there. Lumpkin as well. and it's Depaul basketball. Keep in mind, this was a 17-point lead for Depaul after the Blue Demons made their first shot of the second half. If you're wondering, though, if A&M is capable of pulling off a comeback this dramatic, that would be the fourth largest comeback in tournament history. Who gave them number one?
Well, we can't forget Texas A&M.
Oh, hard foul on Allen.
And going back to what you were saying, just last season, Texas A&M made the biggest comeback in tournament history against Penn, down 21 in the fourth quarter.
So in a span of 2 years, the Aggies are trying to pull off the greatest tournament comeback and the fourth greatest in history. Carter picked up her second foul. Allen can't hit the first. Stonewall and Campbell both with 4 fouls for Depaul. No one with more than 2 for A&M. And Allen hits it. So Coach Blair had a message after the opening win against Drake. He wanted butts in the seat and was willing to do anything to get them here, including selling tickets out of a circus tent. He didn't have to do that, but it's getting loud inside Reed Arena.
These Aggie faithful are pulling for this team. It's loud, the energy is high.
And foul on A&M. Yeah, for most of the first half, the crowd was kept in check. They were neutralized. You see Hillsman called for the foul. She shoves down Kelly Campbell. Has not been the type of afternoon Blair wants to see from Hillsman. 6.6 rebounds, but he knew it would be a struggle, and that's where the focus of the Depaul defense would lie. Coleman, turnaround. Howard the rebound. 18 boards for Andrea Howard.
She just comes out of nowhere and ends up with the basketball every time.
It's going to be a fun final 3 minutes with a trip to the Sweet 16 and Spokane on the line. Howard back out to Williams. She has not been able to get it going. Slow to the basketball was Depaul. They thought it was theirs. The energy she is providing courtside here. 32nd career double-double, averaging one for this season. 2:43 left. Carter's got 28. And a foul on Millender, her third.
One thing DePaul doesn't want to do is foul towards the end of this game, especially Danny Williams. She's an 83% free throw shooter.
Williams with 7 points, only 1 of 10 from the field. She told us yesterday, quite honestly, it's been an adjustment. It has been tough at times learning to play with Kennedy Carter because the ball was in her hands so much last season. On the clock, inside to Campbell. The rush shot goes! Ashton Millender, how did she get that off?
And if you're a Texas A&M player, that is a heart-breaking shot. To play defense that long, to scramble, to get around those curl screens and those fade screens, that's tough.
The quickest of releases answered by Kennedy Carter. Follow me, she says. Coleman step back two. Short. Aggies within one. Carter taking over in College Station. Big bucket from Marte Graves. Makes it a three-point lead for Depaul. Less than a minute left. We know where this is going. But first, a foul. Kennedy Carter making this game her own.
And Kennedy Carter will not be denied. She is a competitor. She's a basketball junkie, and she has the skill to go with it. Such a smooth jump shot, going full speed and all the emotion and energy to go with it.
33 points on the afternoon. Gary Blair showing the nimbleness. 34 points for Kennedy Carter, and it's a two-point game. Short, Grace with the rebound. Aggies need a stop. Here comes the maroon crowd. Shot no good. A 17-point lead by Depaul has been whittled away. 7 seconds left. Carter! Got it! Her career high is 46. Here we go. To Millender. She's fouled immediately by Carter. So 1 to give. And it's DePaul basketball with 1.5 left. The steal!